It's what the first Friday in the month of September looks like. It's the sixth day of the month. Hello, everyone, and hope you've had a very great weekend so far. Let's get on today into the frontier opening bell. Of course, the biggest news came yesterday from OPEC as far as the oil market is concerned. That is 2.2 million barrels voluntary cutback, which was expected to be brought back into the market on the 1st of October, has been shifted to the end of November, and a phased withdrawal of the 2.2 million barrels of oil will now begin from the 1st of December, and that will be on a monthly basis. Of course, the schedule released yesterday by OPEC after its virtual meeting with eight members of the group, including Russia and Saudi Arabia, suggests that the phased withdrawal starting December the 1st could also be reversed or adjusted as market situation dictates. Iraq and Kazakhstan, already doing overproduction, have agreed to provide what you call the necessary cover for those overproduction starting from September next year. So that's the latest as it were. Oil prices reversing previous losses. Things look a little bit mixed. The delay in that OPEC decision has caused the market to adjust as we step into the weekend. But let's get back very quickly to the African trading day for Thursday. Numbers look a little more decent Thursday than Wednesday, with the exception of the Nigerian market, of course, which remained in the red with a major sell down on Wando and a few other big names in the banking and industrial as well as consumer goods space. The BRVM waxed stronger by roughly 0.25%. Egyptian stock market finished the week on the EGX 30 by 10 basis points. The Nairobi stock market was down by 0.5%. Johannesburg was up by 0.28%. And of course, Zimbabwe also finished in the green territory. Ghana remained skittish throughout the first week in the new month. Let's take it further and look at the top headlines as we start. Friday, was it in East Africa? Elon Musk Starlink is getting more footprints now in about 100 plus countries around the world, including Africa, and is expanding into Uganda, Kenya, as well as Horn of Africa, where you have Burundi. It's good news for President Ruto, at least in the meantime, as fading protests against the Finance Act of 2024 is beginning to subside, and that is boosting the country's private sector activity in the month of August. Folks are getting back to work and businesses are reopening for business, in particular industrial and manufacturing activity. Go to the north of that country, you find Ethiopia. Great homecoming initiatives under Prime Minister Abiy is injecting 21 billion birr into the economy. Yesterday, the Central Bank of Ethiopia also makes an announcement that the banking sector has been rejigged. The banks can now provide some form of diaspora remittances that will bring in those currencies outside the Ethiopian four walls from around the world. Ethiopians are brought back into the country. The banking sector has a lot to play. It's one of the new initiatives that the National Bank of Ethiopia is looking to put in place to allow foreign FX inflows and opening up the banking and financial services industry of this big country, Horn of Africa. Let's move on. Sudan reports coming in says traders are facing scarcity of cash because there are warring factions. So banks are finding it very difficult to do business. It's very difficult to move cash around in bullion vans, whatever, because of hijacking, whatever problems they have. Then, of course, they have to deal with higher interest rates because cash is not readily available. Cash is king. Credit is very scarce. The civil crisis in Sudan is beginning to hit into the monetary, into cash, as well as interest rate ecosystem. And finally, in that region, Absa Kenya, as it says, spent about 600 billion shillings last year, 60 billion shillings last year on sustainability. That's according to its latest report, which was released during the week. So let's leave it there. Let's touch on West Africa. Nigeria's largest brewer, Nigerian breweries on the market, raising 600 billion naira in rights issue to existing shareholders. It's also leaning on its parent company, Heineken, out of the Netherlands, for the FX side of things. You need Naira, but of course you need FX as well. Major losses last year and earlier this year, first half of the year, to Nigerian breweries because of Naira's devaluation. In the meantime, Nigeria's PMI, that's economic activities reading by the central bank, data officially published, showed a PMI index expanded 50.2 reading in last month, up from about 47.9 in the month of July, and that's the latest after 13 months of contraction, by the way. Ghana's Volta Basin Authority is looking to enhance regional cooperation to get the Basin Authority expansion, the dam, the hydropower, and what have you, more efficient and much better. And Liberia's Bureau of Concessions have asked the country's citizens to expose harmful practices by any of the concessionaire operating in the country. If you see something, please do say something. That's what Liberia's Bureau of Concessions has just issued. Let's go to Southern Africa. The JSE, the biggest securities exchange on the continent, is rejigging its rules, gotten approval from the FSCA to rejig its listing requirements. The idea is to stop the outflow, the massive bleeding, if you want to put it that way, of companies from the JSE and to attract more companies to list. What would that stem? The bleeding on the JSE. Let's see how that paces out moving forward. Good news for South Africa's central bank. Interest rate decision in just over a week from now. The current account deficit narrows at 0.9% of the GDP. That's according to latest data. On Thursday, in Malawi, within the region, anger by folks because the government quietly raises water tariffs by 10%. And Namibia exports went down 23.5% in July. Imports also tumbled by about 12.2%. That's according to the Statistics Office reporting in the week. And IMF has told South Africa's new unity government of President Ramaphosa to implement bold reforms to push the frontiers of economic renaissance of Africa's most advanced economy. What else do we have? North Africa. Let's see what is going on. Egypt and Turkey are looking at the trade exchange about $3 billion in the first half of this year. Tunisian President Said has met with the country's Minister of Trade to find out the reasons behind the rise in food prices in the North African economy. And some good news, some loading of crude oil has been seen at export terminals around the eastern corridor of Libya. It's still not Uhuru. Things are not moving very fluid yet, but at least it's getting some crude oil out without the total force majeure that we saw earlier. So some loadings we're seeing, shipments going on, but not as much as previously. Let's see how things begin to ease off within that region. 20 years on, U.S.-Morocco trade agreement is reportedly totaling about $5.5 billion, but Morocco is having the shorter end of the carrot, by the way, because its deficit with the United States was about $1.8 billion over the 20-year period. And finally, Egypt is hosting the Arab Stock Exchange chairperson for Portfolio Egypt 2024 conference. That's going to happen in the next couple of days and weeks down the line. Keep that in mind. Let's get on and enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend ahead. I am Bosin Namofe. I'll see you back on Monday, bright and early. That's going to be the second Monday in the month of September. Bye for now.